Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So in today's video we'll be talking about laptop chargers. Now, my dad gave me an old laptop of his and the charger was broken to it. The rest of the laptop I took apart and that ended up being destructive because it was one of those more complicated HP laptops and I haven't had any experience with those, although now I could probably take one apart without damaging it. But, I mean, it was worthless anyway. So, I decided to have a look inside the charger, which, as I mentioned, was broken because the cable failed. And I found something interesting. Look there. I don't have a ruler here, but it's about 1 millimeter between this point and that point. I can't really point with my left hand. Gotta hold the phone camera with my right hand. So, yeah, about 1 millimeter between these 2 points. Now, as you can see, this trace is from the primary high voltage side and goes to this capacitor, which I don't have good enough vision to see whether it's a real Y1 class safety capacitor or not. I would need like a magnifying glass. Excuse the focus on my phone, it's a bit messy sometimes. And here is the, so here's like the primary side of that filtering capacitor, and here is the secondary side of the optocoupler. Here's the primary side of the optocoupler. So basically, you have 1 millimeter between the high voltage primary side of the charger and the low voltage secondary side. Now, I don't know what the official legal requirements are. It's hard to find the documentation. If anyone knows, please link it down in the comments. I'd really like that. At least give me like for North America or something. Maybe even for Europe if you've got it. But anyways, from what I've heard, 6 millimeters is pretty much a legal requirement. You can, especially in lower voltage countries, technically get away with 3 millimeters without a significant risk of dying, but 6 millimeters is like the safe legal requirement, from what I've heard being talked about online. So, although I've seen many well-made chargers have like 5 millimeters or something. What's funny here is that there's like excellent distance here, but then it gets all right here. Ridiculous. And that transformer looks really, really cheaply made. I would not be surprised if there's inside there somewhere some sort of, I don't know, like if there's stuff that's really close, if they're like bare copper wires really close to each other or something. Actually, they're usually not bare, they're covered in some sort of lacquer in here, but even so, if they're too close and that lacquer cracks, which it can because these things get ludicrously hot too, yeah, you can be in some pretty severe danger. And this isn't the only crappy charger I've taken apart. I don't know if I have the board somewhere here, but a while back, took apart a knockoff Samsung charger that I got once with a used phone I bought from a shady shop, and yeah, that was a complete catastrophe. So yeah, off-brand chargers, no good. Plus, look at how simple this thing is. Now, yeah, I can clearly see, I mean, I haven't learned about switch mode power supplies yet in my electrical engineering courses, but I can, from all the material I've watched on YouTube and all that, easily recognize this is a very primitive switch mode power supply. There's definitely no active power factor correction in this thing. Heck. What is that thing? Black thing? Oh, it's got an NTC thermistor in there, so yeah, at least they didn't skip. Then they, of course, put a real fuse in there. But in any case, yeah. Although, I'm not sure whether you need power factor correction for something this weak. It's only a 65 watt, but still, this is a very primitive power supply. Well, though, like, the only thing it has to its credit here is that these capacitors haven't bulged, which I would expect them to, like, blow up or something after the amount of use this went through, so, yeah. As for the other chargers, I took apart, I know I interrupted that earlier, but, yeah, I took apart once a knockoff Samsung, and again, same deal, I don't think it even had, like, a legit safety capacitor. Now, not all cheap Chinese chargers are bad. That charging station over there, which I use for USB stuff like my 18650 charger over there, was only $20. But, I actually popped that thing open to have a look inside, and it's very well designed. The transformer seems to actually have double insulation. I can see that without taking anything apart in there. Also, I actually sent an email to Big Clive. You probably know his teardown channel if you're into this type of stuff, but and he said it's okay. Although he had a minor complaint about the USB ports not having some barrier between them, so that if you accidentally jam a plug in, it breaks the port out of the thing. It could touch something high voltage, but that's only if you have like kids that jam plugs and stuff. But obviously, no. In short, it's a safe charger. Even EEV blog, I actually contacted him once, like through social media or something, and he said the creepage distance, which is of course that distance between the primary and secondary, was just fine on that charging station. So, yeah, the reason I emailed experts back then was because I was less experienced with that stuff. That was almost 2 years ago, but yeah, now I've unfortunately gained a ton of experience with these things. Probably the worst incident of, like, really bad chargers was the time I, basically took apart a charger that my school was selling, specifically my, college bookstore was selling. It was a knockoff, Apple charger that was distributed by this American company called Case Metro. And yeah, it had all sorts of typos. It looked like a classic fake imitation of an Apple 5-watt cube charger. That thing was a disaster, even worse than this laptop charger. Much worse, and I actually put a freaking PSA on the bulletin board across the hall from the bookstore. That didn't stay up for even a full 24 hours before someone took it down, and they ignored my contact email at the bookstores saying that the charger was dangerous. Well, my friends say he had one and died on him quickly, so I guess that's why those things aren't popular. Not to mention everyone has fast charging phones over there, so nobody really buys those that much, except maybe people with older iPhones or something. But yeah, there's a ton of this junk out there. I mean, here I found a similar one. It's for the same series of laptops. Has pretty much the same plug there. $12. I've seen these things go down, I mean, as low as... Let's see. I mean, there are all these really, really cheap chargers. Like, oh, no. Just don't get any of these. Well, okay, here's a supposed genuine one for a different laptop, but try and stay away from the really cheap aftermarket ones. Not all aftermarket chargers are bad. Usually the ones that cost, 20-ish plus might be okay. But obviously this crap is just this stuff, so yeah. So yeah, moral of the story, don't buy cheap, off-brand, like, no-name chargers. If you want an aftermarket one, don't get the absolute cheapest. This is why. Yeah, so... I mean, I don't know why the Chinese, and heck, anyone makes these types of really bad chargers. These things can actually kill people. I mean, if this was used in like a really humid environment, I mean, it's humid as hell here in Serbia where my parents live, where I am right now, because obviously it's summer vacation, I don't have a summer job. But not only is the voltage here like twice what it is in the US, it's 230 volts, so you need the 6mm separation, or else you could be in real danger. But if it gets humid enough, and that humidity goes through the charger, it could cause a spark to jump there. That's why you need the good separation, so that it's safe in all environments. I mean, this could have killed my dad. Now, yeah, because the last thing you want, is, your USB port to be alive, and then when you plug in a flash drive or something, and you touch that metal with your finger, bzzzt. Or when you plug your headphones in, then stick them in your bzzzt. No. So yeah. And same applies to cell phones. I mean, you should go watch Gone Wild's dangerous cell phone charger thing, and of course the, lethal camping light with USB charger. That's the worst. I mean, yeah, so that's the end of this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share, whatever, and have a nice day.